Hey guys, it's Vince. Today in this video we're going to be discussing a common problem and a solution to it that I deal with every week, so much in fact that typically by the end of the week my inbox is full and it's from past and potential clients with the same general question. How do I add a ground lead to a component that doesn't have a readily available ground lead connecting point, whether it be a terminal or any type of pre-installed block that the manufacturer would have actually installed, or if you purchase the system and realize after watching my videos how important grounding is and want to go over the system and add even better ground points or even some that are non-existent, this is the easiest way to do it. And what we have here is a quick connect ground lead. Okay, I've designed these. They're really simple. You can see we use 3M copper tape, 18 gauge silicone wire, some ED 704 silicone sealant, and then I come over here and we've got our circle ring connector. Everything is soldered on this, guys. Again, we want the least possible resistance. Again, a lot of guys out there will say, well, why are you using the 3M copper tape? I can buy the cheaper copper tape. 3M is aerospace, guys. Their adhesive is some of the best in the industry, and I assure you when you attach this, you're going to have the least possible resistance considering it's a sticky back adhesive. That being said, the beauty of using these is that you never modify any of the components to the degree that it can't be reversed. You can pull this off and remove it. You may need to use some adhesive remover as far as the glue left behind, but you will not damage any of your components in a permanent level that would void a manufacturer's warranty. That being said, you can also add these to a system that's pre-built and install them in seconds. So again, really simple to implement in your system. There's no reason not to implement the best possible grounding. And on top of that, if you want to lower resistance even further, all you'd have to do is add an extra one. So again, we're just kind of opening that faucet wider and wider the more leads we add. Now, I think I've made it explicitly clear, but just to make sure everybody's on the same page, grounding essentially and shielding is what really factors into what makes a system as stable as it's going to be. Okay, I don't care if you're dealing with steppers or servos, grounding is extremely important, guys. And the more of it you have done properly, once again, utilizing a star point ground, you're going to have the most stable system you can have. That being said, there's many different methods to use. However, again, this is the way I would recommend to be the least intrusive and again, totally reversible for what you require. I get guys that question me all the time, whether it be individual component drives, whether it be power supplies, whether it be spindles. I get that a lot. That's a general question, and I've covered that before. You should be grounding your chassis. Every chassis should be grounded. And again, if you guys are dealing with plasma systems, again, you're a different animal. Every component on that plasma needs to be grounded. And if you don't believe me, and I don't know why I have so many challenges on this when Lincoln Electric actually wrote and published a document, which I published for you guys. I actually went and did an overview 4-part series on that, on top of hypotherm, which I did even before that. And you can read about their grounding process. It is extensive, and there's a reason it's extensive, because the better the grounding is of the system, the more stable it is, as long as proper shielding is implemented. So keep that in mind. Once again, you guys want to build these yourself, I highly recommend it. Do it. But one thing to keep in mind, and I've made sure of this because again I have accessibility to a lot of these components because I carry all this stuff the more I build, you're probably not going to be able to build them for what I'm selling them for. And when you factor in the time, each individual component, most of the time these are just plug and play, and you just factor in what your own time is going to cost and how many of these you're going to use, and you'll see just how cost effective they are. But without a doubt, they are simple to use, and that's what I really like about them. I've used them for years, and again, it's just a question of which way you want to go. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that you can change this up in many ways. You can add more leads to this copper tape. I can build them that way. You can build them yourself that way. You can use tin braided copper, which would, again, you can use different thicknesses of tin braided copper for this, give you an even higher level, or I should say a lower level of resistance, because again, we're really giving the electricity and static and noise a way to dissipate the fastest. So keep that in mind. I mean, this is really what we're looking at, is just looking at a really effective solution. There's many different ways to do it, but without a doubt, utilizing these fundamentals, you guys can't go wrong, and you're going to have a kick-ass system. So again, I will put links below so you guys can look at purchasing these. I'm planning on selling them in sets of 2 because really If you're doing individual drives, just makes sense to have one for each drive. If you're doing a larger component, you can make the assessment on whether you want to actually use 2 leads on one component or one, or you could even message me and say just put the 2 leads on one piece of tape. I can do that as well. Again, there's lots of ways to modify this. It's just a question of, you know, which way you guys want to go. But again, I hope it's been educational in that you guys now have a new idea to implement or at least purchase. If you guys have any questions, once again, please message me at storm2313@gmail.com. That's, of course, my direct email for any type of questions, quotes, or you can message me once again through my eBay store at eDealers Direct. I'll put that in the link below. To all my subscribers, once again, guys, I love you guys. Let's continue to grow. And again, I hope this has helped many of you because, again, I know for a fact, and not just people, and I say this all the time, I'm always usually addressing most of my videos to people that are building their own system. Many times you'll see that guys that have already purchased systems will find that ground points aren't installed in the system as they should be. So these really, well, a lot of these videos really pertain to them, and I can't emphasize that enough. It really goes in general just across the entire genre. So I hope it helps. Thank you again. Take care.